Tonight from Long Island, it's a matchup of the top two teams in the Metropolitan Division. These two powerhouses have played 3 times this season. The Penguins won the first meeting, but the Islanders took both games of a home-and-home series. Trying to win it for the Islanders. Okposo in on goal. He scores! And the Islanders win. The Penguins look to reclaim first place next on Root Sports. It is Bryan Trottier night here, and they are celebrating some of the legends of the New York Islanders in their final season here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, with all these banners hanging. One of them, of course, belonging to number 19, Bryan Trottier, who we witnessed on the television set here in our booth visiting with Mike Bossy. And those two combined for a lot of great plays for the New York Islanders in their 4 Stanley Cup championship years. A total of 6 cups for the great goal scorer and two-way player Bryan Trottier, and of course 2 of them coming with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
And there are the 4 banners there, and what Bryan Trottier brought to the New York Islanders. Wow. And you look at all the banners up there, Staggy, you see his teammates, Pot Van Gillies, Bossy, Nystrom. And then as a member of the Penguins, I was fortunate enough to play with Trottier as my centerman for the first cup run, and Jaromir Jagr on the right side. And there's a good look at Bryan Trottier now with the Buffalo Sabres.
And, you know, a real solid member of the Penguins Alumni Association in the years that he's been living in Pittsburgh, and a great member of the community in Pittsburgh, and a really well-liked guy. So great to see Trotz here and having a chance to bask in a little bit of glory again. As we get ready to play the final game, perhaps, between the Penguins and Islanders in this building, and unless these two teams would meet in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And let's look now at our Rivers Casino tips to win for tonight's matchup between the Penguins and Islanders.
Well, the fourth lines, they got to get it going here. You know, we talked about Matt Murray and company. Let's see what Arcobello, Adams, and Silken bring. Don't feed the transition of the Islanders. They like to take it the other way. They've been out shooting opponents with regularity and get to the blue paint. 23 wins for Halak. You know what he's done in the past. And Marc-Andre Fleury, he'd like to have his crease cleared tonight, wouldn't he?
And Flower getting an opportunity tonight against the Islanders. He's 27-4 against them. And Yaroslav Halak also going to the All-Star game in Columbus.
And there he is over to shake the hand of Bryan Trottier.
He's 20-4, Bob, in his last 24 starts. 20-4. Mike Johnston says we're going to be a more assertive team tonight after losing to the Islanders in that home-and-home series. And Jack Capuano has all the respect in the world for the Penguins. He loves the way his team's been playing. He uses the word framework a lot, and a lot of coaches use the word structure. He says they play within our framework.
Well, their framework encloses the fourth line. Matt Martin starts with Clutterbuck. Martin's led the National Hockey League the past 3 years in hits. Cizikas in the middle. So you see the Penguins, who put their lineup out first, they go with Sill, who's battling with Clutterbuck on the faceoff. You knew this would happen. They can't even drop the puck. The official can't drop it right now. Dan O'Rourke telling those 2 players, hey, let me drop the puck and then do what you will. Downey on the right side.
And they drop it. Hickey ahead to Martin, who's hit immediately by Simon Dupre, stepping up on him. Rob Scuderi looks for Dupre. Now Downey on the near wall is hit by Matt Martin. Martin with 195 hits this season to lead the league. And in behind the net, puck loose. Fleury trying to poke it free. He does to the corner to Steve Downey. Downey in the lineup tonight despite having his bell rung the other night in the game against the Minnesota Wild by Ryan Suter, who got a 2-game suspension for his elbow. Here's a chance in front. Fleury makes the save on Martin, who went right to the net. And Fleury with a big save there, the fourth line of the Islanders, right away getting the puck into the Penguin zone and almost scoring a goal.
Well, they did almost score, and they were able to come out of the corner. They're looking at Zach Sill, push Martin into Marc-Andre Fleury. You see Cizikas digging it down low, hitting Martin, and then you see Zach Sill coming in from the slot position to bowl over Matt Martin, who tried to avoid Marc-Andre Fleury. But a good start by the New York Islanders in that fourth line that's been averaging several more minutes than the Penguins' fourth line.
Martin scored a goal in each of the 2 games in that home-and-home series in late November, and almost had another one there. Ryan Strome takes the face-off for the Islanders. The Penguins won the draw. Crosby now coming up ice with Kunitz, and Kunitz dumps the puck into the right wing corner against Travis Hamonic. Kunitz behind the net. Down the wall comes Paul Martin to feed it in behind the goal. Hamonic for Calvin DeHaan. And DeHaan moves it up the right wing for Franz Nielsen. Anders Lee heading to the net. He couldn't get the puck to him though, and Kunitz works it ahead now for Letang, trying to lead the charge, but Anders Lee backhands one wide of the goal. Lee with another shot, and he's got 6 goals in his last 12 games.
Yeah, not bad for a rookie. Anders Lee doing a really good job right now. 5 game winners on the season.
He also scored against the Penguins in that series in game 2 in the 3rd period of that one, which the Islanders won 4-1. Hamonic moves it ahead. Stepping up is Christian Ehrhoff, paired up tonight with Scott Harrington, recalled again from Wilkes-Barre, and he starts the game tonight. And he looks to be the heir apparent to Olli Maatta on defense, playing with Christian Ehrhoff. Here's Tavares moving it in behind the net. Kyle Okposo in on the forecheck. Now for Josh Bailey on the near wall, but the Penguins get a hold of it. Ehrhoff tried to get it to Malkin. That puck bouncing around back to Nick Leddy's shot. That's off a stick. And it's controlled now by Spalling, who hands it off to Evgeny Malkin. Malkin moving in along with Bo Bennett. Malkin controlling the puck as he always does against the Islanders. Malkin tried to push it out for Dupre, who stepped to his right. The puck went left, so he has to retreat. The Islanders shuffle the deck as the Penguins try to catch them in transition, and the shot by Bennett, soft to the net, is steered away by Halak. Now a quick shot by Sill is also stopped, and is picked up by Thomas Hickey. He moves the puck ahead off the stick of Michael Grabner and into the Penguins zone where Fleury pushes it aside. Craig Adams there. Adams, Arcobello, and Sill. This is the 4th line the Penguins had planned to use tonight. Arcobello centering the line, hustling over on his first shift for the Penguins, and it's cleared now down the ice.
There'll be no ice, and Mike Johnson, as Arcobello changes, said, I want to get him into his natural position center. There's enough to worry about in your first game, and he's already had to play a system in Edmonton and in Nashville. It's tough to learn a system here very quickly.
Sidney Crosby against Hickey. Crosby looks back, looks for an open man. It comes all the way through to Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff with a wrist shot and hit the skate of Perron in front of the goal. Now Brock Nelson trying to get a hold of it, but David Perron over to work it in behind the net to Sidney Crosby. Crosby on his backhand. Perron in the paint. Crosby's backhand shot stopped by Yaroslav Halak. Sid tried to get it to the front of the net. The Islanders contentious to get rid of it. And that will be an icing call against the New York Islanders.
I really like where David Perron is going, and you're going to score 1,000,000 goals if you do what he's doing, playing with Sidney Crosby and Chris Kunitz. He had a redirection opportunity in front of the net. It didn't quite work, but look at him in the blue paint right now. You go right there to that blue paint. You're going to create room for Crosby, but you're going to get a lot of bounces yourself. And we said one of the keys to this game was get to the blue paint against Yaroslav Halak. Perron does it right there.
Another face-off coming up here to the left of Halak.
How about this? Malkin double shifted right now. He was on. They're going to throw him right back on the ice again. Evgeny Malkin, as he's out here, Spalling taking the face-off at this particular moment. Malkin with points in 9 of the last 10 road games.
Grabner pulls away with the puck, moves it to Nikolai Kulemin. Kulemin dumps it to the Penguin zone, and Paul Martin will go back and get it. The Islanders are changing again. Josh Bailey, the lone forechecker right now, as the Islanders get fresh troops on. Tavares and Okposo as well. And there's a nice pass to Letang as he'll lead the charge into the Islanders zone. Letang with a backhander and kind of floated that into the glove of Yaroslav Halak. We invite you to tweet the booth, Root Sports Pit. Use the hashtag PensBooth. Send your comments, questions, and pictures. Use the hashtag PensBooth, brought to you by Point Park University.
So Gotch gets out here with the regular 3rd line. Gotch is going to play left wing with Sutter and Down. He still started the game. They wanted a little mustard out there against Clutterbuck and Martin.
And now Martin backhands the puck off the wall, ahead for Clutterbuck and into the Penguin zone. Rob Scuderi. Casey Cizikas centers this 4th line for the Islanders. And now taken at center ice by Nick Leddy. And Leddy dumps it behind the goal. Fleury couldn't stop it cleanly. Matt Martin to the puck. Chips it behind the net. Now Dupre throws a shoulder into Matt Martin. And you almost got the feeling on the first shift that Dupre was going to make sure that he sort of counteracted against Matt Martin. He stepped up on him on the very first shift of the hockey game in the neutral zone. Now Dupre, who leads the Penguins in hits, is hit on there on the end boards. He's got 125 hits for Pittsburgh. Here's Nick Leddy at center ice. Drops it back now for Johnny Boychuk.
And also remember, Robert Bortuzzo's not in the lineup. He's a big hitter for the Penguins with Harrington in there. So the Penguins have, as a team, just have to be physical.
Ehrhoff around for Downey. You got a piece of it to direct it to center ice, and Hamonic to DeHaan. who dumps it to the right wing corner of the Penguin zone. Anders Lee in after it. Dupre shuffled it along. Fleury makes sure he works it to the corner. Cizikas behind the net now for Strome to Cizikas, and he shot it wide of the goal, right to the doorstep. It was Franz Nielsen, I beg your pardon, who had that chance, and he almost scored right in front. Now Anders Lee with it to the corner. It's Lee, Nielsen, Strome, and the shot by Lee, stopped by Fleury. And they've had a couple of good chances right on the doorstep here. DeHaan sends it down the wall. Strome centers it, goes to the right point, and Hamonic trying to hold it in with his gloves and has to retreat.
Good shift there by Nielsen and company, playing against the Crosby unit. A couple of good cracks, and Marc-Andre Fleury again stopping teams from scoring, putting that initial goal on the board. He's been so good early in hockey games. He did it against the Wild in the last one. Sometimes it goes unnoticed. Big saves early.
Harrington up the wall for Adams. Finds Arcobello down the wing, and he'll lift it towards the net. To the far wall, Adams over there to play it against Brian Straight, the former Penguin defenseman. Brock Nelson sent it around, but Letang pinches in. He tried to get it to the net. Battle for the puck. Zach Sill wins possession for Letang. Now out for Adams, who finds Letang. Letang shot. It is blocked in front by Hickey. And Grabner to Nelson. And out now to Kuhlman at center ice. And Kuhlman will slip it in behind Paul Martin, and Letang over to get to the puck. Letang able to get possession here and leave it for Paul Martin. Those two are split up at times when they're on the road by Mike Johnston, but he's got them playing together here tonight. Here's Arcobello ahead to Bo Bennett. Bennett's shot off a stick and off the corner boards to Josh Bailey. He's hit by Nick Spaulding, and the puck comes back to Ehrhoff.
Josh Bailey's been in and out of the doghouse here on the island. He's playing on the top line with Oposo and Tavares.
Malkin steps up against Bailey. Boychuk to Leddy. Those two acquired right before the start of the season and made a huge impact. And two of the big reasons why the Islanders are where they are in the standings. Garth Snow did a great job to find them from two clubs that couldn't afford to keep them, Boston and Chicago.
And the Islanders will have to find a way to keep them themselves, Garth Snow, in the offseason.
Now it's Bo Bennett stepping into the Islanders zone. He's poke checked by Leddy, but it comes through. Malkin in the slot. Oh, he just couldn't stick handle around Josh Bailey. And now Leddy can't get out of his own zone. He was hooked up a bit there as he came up the ice. And there's going to be a hooking penalty here.
Spalling's going to go to the box. The Islanders will go on the power play. And Marc-Andre Fleury, the all-star, making two big saves here early in the hockey game. That one on Lee. Well, Nick Spalling is in the penalty box for the Penguins. A hook. The puck was turned the other way. And really, it was a late call. The reason why the penalty made, yeah, it was a hook on the hands, but the puck went to Malkin, who was going to go in on Halak on a 2-on-1, and the referee decided we can't have that happen. Makes the call, and the Islanders get the first power play.
The Islanders 0 for 14 on the power play in the last 4 games. That's after they went on a hot streak for a while. They had 7 power plays in the 4 games, 7 power play goals in the 4 games before that, so it can be dangerous. Here's Boychuk with that heavy shot. It's blocked, and then turning the puck to the net was Tavares. Tavares in the corner. Boychuk's got a bomb at the right point. Gotch has a broken stick. He's got no stick right now. Here's Boychuk shooting, and that one sails high and wide off the glass. Big bounce to the near wall. Sutter wanted to get there. Nielsen did, but his pass for Boychuk nowhere near him, and the Islanders have to regroup.
Referee goes to the bench with 2 sticks, and Brock Nelson redirected a long shot. He broke his stick there. Nelson, he's a big power play guy with 9 in that category.
Oposo to Nielsen. Nielsen to the backhand, centers for Oposo. He couldn't get it through. Martin broke it up, and now Martin trying to get possession, but it's going to be coming to the Islanders here. Tavares to Boychuk, off the wall now for Brock Nelson. To John Tavares. Nobody home again as he turned it back to the point. Boychuk in a foot race with Zach Sill, and Boychuk able to work it to his goaltender, Halak. 50 seconds to go on the penalty to Spalling. There were only 4 power play opportunities, a total of 4 for the two teams in that 2-game series back in November. There weren't a lot of chances on special teams. This is the first one of the night for the Islanders. Bailey dumps the puck into the corner. Strome after it, sent it up the wall to Nick Leddy. Now for Hamonic. Back to Leddy. They'll play catch. Sutter up top along with Gotch on the penalty kill. Here's a chance now for Hamonic. His shot. Fleury kicked it away, and the rebound is going to be cleared by Sutter.
Traffic in front of the cage. Marc-Andre Fleury fought it off like he's been doing all season. Short-handed, he's been brilliant. After the Penguins had a slow start in that category with different pairings, he has shut the door.
Hamonic faked dumping it in. When he did that, Casey Cizikas was ahead of the playoff side. Only 1 second remaining on the Spalling penalty.
And through Anders Lee, look at the save he makes. Look where Lee is. He's just bumping right into Marc-Andre Fleury, and his shorthanded save percentage, second in the National Hockey League, despite the slow start. .934. He's .936 on the season as Marc-Andre Fleury. Really incredible numbers with Varlamov right on top of him.
And he's faced the most shots. You saw that coming into the game, 197. And they had 1 shot on goal in that power play. That save right there. It took a couple, but they didn't get through. And now off the draw, the Penguins at full strength as the puck comes back into the Islanders zone. And Hickey around toward Clutterbuck, but it's held in by Crosby.
Penguins top line out here against the fourth line of the Islanders.
Doesn't seem to matter to Jack Capuano where the fourth line plays, does it?
No.
Scuderi sent it ahead, steered in. Actually, Kunis did not get a piece of that, so it's an icing call against Pittsburgh. Well, this is the last game, perhaps, that we'll play in this building. And was built on the site of Mitchell Field, a former Army Air Force base, at a cost of $32 million. First event, the New York Nets and the Pittsburgh Condors on February 11th, 1972. Condors were an ABA team in Pittsburgh, and the Islanders have played here since 72-73, but they're going to move to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn next season.
Nielsen moves on to the ice here after the icing against the Crosby unit. Down to 1 knee to win that draw.
Hamonic shot, stick save Fleury. Behind the net, Nielsen with the rebound, left it there for Anders Lee. He tried to go to the point. It did come through for Hamonic, who just chopped it, and it sails up into the netting behind the Penguins' goal. 7 shots for the Islanders, 3 for the Penguins so far.
Take a look at Nielsen on this faceoff. It's not his best side, but take a look how he gets down and gets leverage. Down to 1 knee, quick hands to win that faceoff against Crosby. In that right circle, the offensive circle for Nielsen, who is going to come off the ice now. They were only out there for the faceoff. 10 seconds off the ice because the Crosby unit was on against the fourth line, then against the Nielsen unit, and that's the matchup the Islanders want, and they're able to get that last change.
And the Penguins win the draw. Bo Bennett moves it into the middle for Spalling, who dumps it behind Calvin DeHaan and gets in after it on the forecheck. Leaves it for Malkin. His pass for Spalling came through to Ehrhoff on his backhand. He finds Malkin. Over to Harrington, a shot, and redirected by Spalling. And that one jumps off his stick up into the netting behind the Islanders' goal.
Now let's take a look at our barrel leaders, and most career points per game versus any opponent. There you see Malkin against the Leafs. Crosby against the Islanders, 1.77, and Ovechkin against Calgary. Pretty good stuff right there, and let's see what Crosby's got up his sleeve for the Islanders tonight in what might be the Penguins' last game on the island.
Ovi doesn't play nearly as many games against Calgary as Crosby and Malkin play against Toronto and the Islanders. So that stat a little bit misleading for Ovechkin because he doesn't see the Flames that much. Sid has seen a lot of the Islanders, and they've seen way too much of him based on those numbers.
Yeah, I just want to talk about Calvin DeHaan for a second. A young defenseman here on the blue line, a first rounder in 2009. He's had shoulder surgery. He had problems in junior. Then he went to the minors, had problems, missed the whole season. Calvin DeHaan, a first rounder, much like Olli Maatta. Same kind of situation, had to deal with a couple of shoulder situations and surgery. Staggy performing admirably right now, and he's going to be a mainstay for years to come. Calvin DeHaan on the blue line here. So all the best, Olli Maatta, and good luck in your recuperation. And we look forward to seeing you back in a Penguin uniform as soon as we can. There's a knee.
Harrington tripped up, kneed by Grabner. There'll be a penalty. Fleury goes to the bench. So Harrington appears to be okay. Took a knee to get knocked down there as he was bringing the puck out of his own zone. So it's a chance now for the Penguins with a man advantage when we come back.
Take a look. Oh, yeah, that's knee on knee. That's not good. They're going to call it trip, but that's a knee by Grabner. It could have been dangerous.
Grabner to the box for tripping. UPMC Sports Medicine injury update. And Bobby was just talking about Olli Maatta, and there you see the details on that. Now it's a UPMC Sports Medicine power play for the Penguins. Sidney Crosby, David Perron, Chris Kunitz, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang. And from the draw, Strome against Crosby. Sid won the draw, back to Letang, to Perron. Kunitz is in front. Malkin tried to play the puck with his stick. It went off his right skate. Islanders attempt to clear. Perron held it in, but right to Franz Nielsen. And watch out. They lead the league with 7 shorthanded goals. Drop pass for Strome, broken up by the Penguins, and Malkin goes the other way. Fans wanted a penalty there. Malkin now for Kunitz. His shot. Save, score, and the rebound. Crashing the net was Crosby. He'll get the goal and off his body into the net. And the Penguins have scored again on the power play, and they lead it 1-0.
And that'll count. The Islanders had a chance to go the other way, a 2-on-1 after a turnover in the offensive zone, but the Penguins are able to squash that and come back strong the other way. Here's Nielsen trying to make a play at the blue line. That doesn't happen. Talk about transition. Here comes Malkin all the way across to Kunitz, and Crosby center drive gets rewarded. Just drive into the blue paint. Get to the blue paint. And on the Crosby chart, put a little X right in the middle of that blue paint, right off the shin pads. Great stuff. Crosby puts the Penguins up on the power play. The power play starting to heat up on a rush. Gotta love to see it that way. We're checking this one to make sure it wasn't kicked in by the Penguins captain.
Penguins with a power play goal in each of their last 3 games. Of course, Sid scored one to win in an overtime in Montreal. They got another one the other night against Minnesota in that 7-2 win. And now here, getting the very first goal of the game, a big one for Sidney Crosby, and a dirty goal, if you will, on the power play.
I like it. In light of the fact you mentioned, not a lot of power play opportunities in the last couple of meetings between these two teams. 4, as you said, only 1 by the Penguins in the 2 games. Cashing in, that's big.
Pittsburgh Penguins power play goal, scorer number 87, Sidney Crosby, his 13th of the season.
And now either Crosby or Malkin or both have figured in on 17 of the last 19 goals for the Penguins. Both Malkin and Crosby figuring in on that one. Malkin getting the second assist. Kunitz the first assist on Sidney Crosby's goal. And for Sid, his 13th of the season. An icing call against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there he is, Crosby getting his 13th, going to that cage, his 48th point. Oh yeah, off his body there somewhere. Take a look at the overhead as Halak makes the right pad save. That hit a little bit of everything. Hit a knee, hit a stick, hit a glove, and went in behind Halak. And those two see each other at the All-Star game. 50 points for Evgeny Malkin. Nobody's got more points against the East than does Evgeny Malkin. He's got 40 points against the East.
Battle behind the net now. Cizikas moves it up top now for Hickey. Quick wrist shot blocked down by Letang. And a penalty coming up here. Letang appeared to take a stick up high. Or is it Clutterbuck? Look, Letang reacted as though the stick came up on his face. Well, and I think Clutterbuck's going off.
Yeah. Clutterbuck got the stick up on Letang, who snapped the head back right in front of his own cage.
Here, number 15, 2 minutes high sticking.
Right in front of the Penguins cage as Hickey put the puck in there. It's Clutterbuck. The stick came up. And another power play. Sidney Crosby. There's the big X. Thanks, guys. That's about as close as you can get to that goal line. And we've seen the Penguins. We saw Perron get to the blue paint. We see Crosby get to the blue paint. You want to score goals, that's where you got to score them.
High sticking to Clutterbuck. Perron wrists it around the horn and all the way to the near side for Sidney Crosby. Now for Malkin. Malkin looks it over. In front, Crosby jams away at it right on the goal line, and the save made by Halak. And Crosby gets ridden right into the end boards by Hamonic after the whistle. But there's Sid on that goal line. He's so dangerous there on the power play. He almost had another one.
Well, the reason I like him there, he's got great hands. Number 1, he's got great feet. He can pick pucks down with his hands, put them down. He can kick pucks with his feet to his stick. And as we saw, you don't even have to use your stick to put a puck in the net. So he's really good around there. The way he's able to put the skate positions, heel to heel, protect pucks, go in there and get dirty, get down low. He can do all that. But there is a price to pay when you play down there.
Here's Letang with it now. Perron with a drive. He scores! David Perron with a rocket. And the Penguins have scored 2 power play goals, and they lead 2-0 with 7:38 to go in the first.
Why do you like the right-hand shooter, Perron? Because you can work the other side of the ice. From the face-off, Perron scored a goal from the face-off against the Wild, and here, the Penguins, Crosby Doesn't win the draw, but the Penguins get on it. So they're going to get credit with a face-off win there. And you'd see it go to Perron. And that I almost thought it glanced off Kunitz or somebody in front. It looked like it hit a body, possibly Hickey in front who was on Kunitz. Kunitz did not react like he had that goal, but Perron and Kunitz celebrate. And 2 power play goals for the Penguins. And Kunitz was stuck on, well, I'm not going to say stuck. He's got 4, look at it.
Tavares shuffles it towards the net. Penguins trying to get it out. Hickey pushed it towards the goal. Now Tavares shoots, and the save made by Fleury. The Islanders trying to come right back and get one here.
Yeah, Kunitz got his 499th career point on the Penguins' first goal. I'm not sure he picked up a point on that second one. They're going to take a look. If he did, that's 500 points in the National Hockey League for Chris Kunitz. 500!
For a guy who wasn't drafted, not bad.
We'll take 499 though.
Oh, an offside play. How about Perron? He now has 4 goals in 5 games with the Penguins. Not too bad.
And look where he scored that one from. We saw he was able to score. Let's take a look at the overhead as the puck comes in. I don't think it hit Kunitz. Went right by the glove of Halak. They're still waiting. And Perron gets credit for the power play goal from Letang and Crosby. For Letang, that's 15 power play points on the season for a guy that wasn't on the #1 power play last year.
Now loose puck around the net. The Penguins cleared away, but Hamonic drills it right back towards the net. It's blocked in front, and the Penguins quickly counter. A lead pass ahead for Gotch, and he just had it knocked off his stick. He gets back on side. So does Sutter, so that Dupre can work the puck in behind the Islander goal. Now DeHaan will take it. Around for Hamonic. Perron wins the battle of the puck. Quick shot by Gotch off the side of the cage. Sidney Crosby, Gotch, and Perron on the ice. Perron had it knocked off his stick to Lee, and he just was able to wrist it off the near boards and back into the Penguin zone. Dupre goes to get it. Ahead now for Perron. The Islanders coming into the game 3rd fewest penalty killing situations. They've been disciplined, not taking a lot of penalties. They've taken 2 here, and it's cost them 2 power play goals against. And you know that Jack Capuano, one of the big things in their game plan was to do what they did the last time these 2 teams met, stay out of the box, but they haven't been able to do it tonight. And the Penguins have made them pay. Here's Nick Leddy with it now, closing in. He shot it off a leg. Leddy works his way in behind the Penguin goal, the defenseman, and then Clutterbuck centered right to Sidney Crosby, who turns and headmans the puck to Chris Kunitz. The Islanders are changing as Kunitz barrels his way down the near wall and works it to the corner. Then he turns and goes to the bench.
This is big, taking the crowd out of the game. And this has been a great place for the Islanders to play. The success of the Islanders on home, and we got a penalty here, I believe. The crowd getting back into it.
Well, you made a good point. Marc-Andre Fleury making those early saves, and then the Penguins getting the first and second goals of the game. And now the Islanders will have a second power play opportunity when we return. The Penguins leading 2-0 with 5:20 to go.
There's Scott Harrington in the box. Robert Bortuzzo, a healthy scratch for the Penguins. Take a look at the penalty behind the zone as Nelson kind of got, well, not much going on there, to be quite honest with you. But Gary Agnew will not have Harrington available, and Harrington's been getting a lot of shorthanded penalty killing time when he's been in the lineup for the Penguins. Just called up from Wilkes-Barre, where he was a +4 down there.
Tavares gets some help to win the faceoff. Nilsson working the point, stripped to the puck by Craig Adams. By the way, the Penguins getting 2 power play goals. It's the first time since November 8th, Bob, that they've had a 2 power play goal game.
Wow.
Now here is Boychuk into the Penguin zone. He'll dump it to the corner, get in after his own shoot in. Trying to wind it around to the wall. I think it hit the referee, or at least he was ducking out of the way of it. Now Tavares wrists one wide. Hustling over is Boychuk to keep it in. Now for Oposo. Oposo turns away from Marcel Gotch. Finds Tavares. Back to Oposo to Boychuk. Wrist shot off the stick of Adams. Now to the corner. Letang went in there to try to get it, but Nilsson jumped in there and found Oposo off his stick to Gotch, and he's able to wrist it back into the Islanders zone. Harrington in the box.
This is big right here for that Penguin team that's killed off 19 straight. Since December 1st, 92.6%, killing 63 of 68.
And he killed the first one in this game too, so it's now 20, and they're working on 21.
Wow.
51 seconds to go on the Harrington penalty. Travis Hamonic on that second power play unit for the Islanders to Nick Leddy. Hamonic, head up, shoots it, and it was deflected in on net. The save made by Fleury. Strome sent it up top to Leddy. To Hamonic. Hamonic's shot off the stick of Spaulding, taken by Josh Bailey. Around now for Ryan Strome. And the first round pick of the Islanders goes to Hamonic. His wrister, that one hit Spaulding. Strome hustles over to get possession of the puck, moves it back to Leddy. Leddy now with it to Hamonic. 17 seconds to go on the penalty. Here's Strome shooting, and Fleury gobbles up that shot. No rebound with Anders Lee standing right there in front of him. Coming up in the first intermission, presented by your neighborhood Ford store with Rob and Jay. Danny Potash will speak with David Perron.
Well, they don't mind putting big Anders Lee in front of the net. Then they come back. They got Brock Nelson in front of the net. A couple of big bodies there that they use on their power play, the New York Islanders, right in front of the cage.
Hamonic. DeHaan, head up, slap shot wide. Scuderi to the puck. Backhands it up the wall. Two Islanders converged on the near side, but winning the battle against those two Islanders, Craig Adams, who does a lot of that on the penalty kill for the Penguins, winning that tough battle on the half wall to get the puck down the ice. Here's Tavares down the wing. Nice move to the goal. Centers. Score. Okposo.
Now, 5-on-5 goal. Tavares with the greatest hands on the Islanders. Works his way around Dupré, who got caught on the outside of things, and Ehrhoff, is he saying that puck was he hooked up as his man beat him to the net?
I think he said
was
it
it kicked in by Okposo? It went off the skate of Okposo. They're taking a look here right now. That's what Ehrhoff was arguing about. You can turn and angle your skate. They're a little more lenient on goals being put in off skates this year. There's a different criteria. You're allowed to angle your skate. That's not going to be a distinct kicking motion. That goal's going to count, folks. There's no distinct kicking motion there. Definitely went off the skate. Ehrhoff has got every right, yes, to have this looked at, but in my opinion, it was not a distinct kicking motion, and this goal will count off the right skate of Okposo. And if it does count, it's an even strength there by Tavares and Bailey. John Tavares, you talk about hands to walk around Dupré. You cannot allow him to get to the inside, and Dupré had his skates crossed over and got caught playing the puck and not the man. And not a distinct kicking motion, in my opinion, there, Staggy, and I think this goal is going to count.
And we'll get a second ovation
After
from the
further
crowd.
review, the call on the ice stand, good goal.
Well, that kind of stops the bleeding for the Islanders, gets the crowd back involved. And leave it to their best player to come up with a pretty play around Dupré to set up Okposo. Two dangerous players for the New York Islanders, who make it 2-1. So the Penguins with two power play goals, the Islanders with an even strength marker here in the first period. Here's DeHaan with it. Ahead now from Matt Martin. Fleury comes out to poke it away from him. And Martin was able to avoid colliding with Fleury. Now Hamonic shooting. And that's blocked. And it comes off of Crosby all the way to the net. And Halak shuffles it to the wall. Crosby quickly found Kunitz. His shot was off the stick of Cizikas and up into the netting behind the goal.
Well, Marc-Andre Fleury, you got to make a decision. DeHaan with the backhand. Martin trying to flag it down. Fleury gets the stick on it first. Good job by Marc-Andre Fleury. Actually, Martin looked like he touched it just about simultaneously, but Marc-Andre Fleury in a good position there. Coming out, taking away any opportunity for Martin to turn and make a play there.
Clean face-off win for Malkin. Malkin fires. Oh, he gunned that one right over the skull of Yaroslav Halak and off the glass. Malkin makes a good play on the near wall, but now the Islanders do force it back to center ice, and Martin for Malkin. Malkin dumps it to the corner. Back to get it goes Leddy. Malkin in there working on the forecheck. Brock Nelson. Bo Bennett there forcing him to move the puck behind the net for Nick Leddy. Now Grabner softly over to Boychuk. Boychuk gains the Penguin zone, keeps on coming down the wall, but then just handed the puck right to Chris Letang, and Letang ahead now for Bo Bennett. He'll bank it off the boards into the Islanders zone. Penguins are changing. Bennett stays out here as the Islanders Oposo carries it down his off wing. Oposo to the corner. Marcel Gottsch got in there to try to get it away from him. Now Letang works it up the boards. Back in behind the net. And over to get it now. Brian Straight, the defenseman, bumped off the puck nicely by Gottsch. Ehrhoff looked for Letang, but it's stalled and centered. Bo Bennett still on the ice. He's tired. A shot by Hickey comes right to the stick of Gottsch, and he'll use the glass to get it back to center. And Bo Bennett needs a life preserver. He goes back to the bench.
You want to use 4 lines here, and the Penguins have the 4th line. Sill, Downey, got this one off the ice. But you have to, in a high-paced game against the Islanders, you got to keep the shift short. Mike Johnson said this morning, we're not looking to match lines. We want to keep our shift short and try to outchange the Islanders.
Now it is Hickey, forced by Crosby, but up the wall it comes now for Nielsen. And the product of Denmark lost the puck at center to Chris Kunitz, who works it back to Ehrhoff. Less than a minute to go in the first period. 11 shots for the Islanders, 9 for the Penguins. Hamonic works it out to center. Crosby can't take the lead pass, and it's wheeled into the zone by Anders Lee. Ehrhoff sending up the right wing boards. Perron into the middle now for Kunitz. 1-on-3. Crosby follows on. Pass goes off his right skate. Hustling over is Dupre. And he finds Paul Martin. 30 seconds to go in the period. Lead pass off the... I thought Kunitz got a piece of that, but I guess not. It's going to be an icing call.
As did I.
I think he's saying that he did too. And now on a special Inside Pirates baseball, you can hop on the Care-A-Van with the Bucks as they tour the area to meet fans and extend a helping hand to the community. Follow them on their journey around the region to help those in need on Inside Pirates Baseball 2014 Caravan tomorrow at 8 on Root Sports. Off the draw. Clutterbuck shot everything but the puck there. And to the near side, Calvin DeHaan down the wall, and he works it into the corner. 17 seconds remaining in the period. Perron trying to get it out. DeHaan held it in. DeHaan to the right point at Hamonic. His shot hit a body in front. It hit Clutterbuck, who went down. And Malkin works it ahead now to Kunitz. 2 seconds to go in the period. And Kunitz breaks his stick and attempting to get it to the goal. And that'll be the end of the first 20-minute session. The Penguins with a 2-1 lead and 2 power play goals by Sidney Crosby and David Perron.
Yeah, but the Islanders, they're not going to go anywhere. They feel like they're in this game. They do get a goal 11 seconds after their power play expired, but you got to love the way Perron is fitting in with that top line.
They outshot the Penguins 11-10. Good period. A lot of opportunities at both ends of the rink. Let's go to Robin J.
For the first time since November 8th against Buffalo, the Penguins have 2 power play goals in a game. Assistant coach Rick Tocchet is in charge of the power play unit. He's with Dan Potash at Nassau Coliseum.
Well, Rick, 2 power play goals in the first period, 3 in the last 2 games. What pleases you most, other than seeing power play goals, about the way this unit's moving?
Shots and guys going to the net. Sid goes to the net, stops, it hits him. You know, it wasn't a pretty goal. Perron, great shot with traffic. I mean, that's the stuff that's going to win you hockey games. And sometimes you just got to get back to basics, and the guys did a nice job last 3-4 games getting back to the basics.
How can you create more scoring opportunities in 5-on-5 situations in front of Halak?
Well, we got to start chipping in more, and our second man's slow getting in. We're kind of watching. Islanders are forechecking us really well tonight because they're going hard on our defensemen. We're kind of a little bit slow getting on the forecheck, so we have to get the guy chipping in, following the puck, and the second guy following him. It can't be a one-man forecheck. It has to be 2 with the third man coming wide.
Rick, thank you.
Okay, bud.
Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Danny and Bob. Just your impressions in general of the first period.
Rick's bang on. You go to the net. That's how you score goals in the National Hockey League. Crosby goes there and he gets rewarded. And the power play has been moving bodies around. You score off the rush. Crosby in the blue paint. We talked about getting there. Halak didn't like it. Too bad. Then you get traffic there. Kunitz. And that's what you have to do against goalies. How can you score against an all-star goaltender if you don't get traffic in front of him? You don't take his eyes away. That's exactly what they've been doing.
Face-offs are brought to you by the new face of Northwood Realty Services. Penguins lost the face-off battle in the first period.
And the Islanders, they found themselves down by 2. When they allowed the first goal, they're still 13-4 on the season. So that's indeed
That's
what
the most
happened.
wins in the NHL for a team having the first goal scored against them. Don't know what the stat is when they have the first 2 scored against them, though.
I'm sure it hasn't happened much. And here we go again. Sill and Clutterbuck going at it. Just like the start of the game. Hey, we just joined by Bryan Trottier. 8-time All-Star. And he just said he loved us all.
Love you guys.
Love you too, Trotz.
He's the best. Bryan Trottier.
Casey Cizikas in his own zone. Moves it around. And up it comes to the right wing to Clutterbuck. He tried to lead Matt Martin into the Penguin zone. Fleury quickly turns the puck to the near wall, and Sill got up to the blue line but didn't get it out. And it's held now and centered quickly by Clutterbuck, but broken up by Dupre and then cleared. And there goes Sutter. His dad, Brent, played with Bryan Trottier. And both teams are changing. A clear lane down the wing for defenseman Hamonic. He drops it off to Martin in front. Clutterbuck is poke checked by Marc-Andre Fleury, and Crosby goes the other way. There goes Sidney Crosby with Kunitz and Perron, and offside. Are the Penguins entering the Islanders zone? Not sure who was offside on that play. Maybe Perron.
What a shame Tuesday, because the fourth line was changing of the Islanders after they went to the net, and Fleury used that poke check on Clutterbuck. Penguins had the speed going the other way. They had an advantage in numbers. They had a 5 really on 2 if they wanted to, as the Islanders are getting back late and they end up going offside.
Crosby wins the draw. Back to Christian Ehrhoff, who's trying to dump it in. It hit a skate, came right to Scott Harrington. Glove down by Halak for Calvin DeHaan. Now it's Hamonic moving it out in center. Stepping up was Harrington on Strome. And now it's Nielsen stepping in. Shoots it. Goalpost behind Fleury and up into the netting. Boy, Nielsen pulled the trigger there and fired it off the iron.
Yeah, and he was able to because he backed up the Penguins defense. The gap not good, and Nielsen was able to back up the Penguins defense. Back as Ehrhoff is really flat-footed right at the hash marks, and he uses Ehrhoff as a screen to Nielsen off the bar. Faceoff stays inside.
Malkin against Tavares.
Malkin with 50 points. Crosby 49, only behind Jakub Voracek.
He's got 52 coming into action tonight. Penguins' next opponent, the Rangers, and then the Flyers on Tuesday. Letang pokes it to the corner. Oposo centered it right onto the tape of Nick Spaulding. Out now for Evgeny Malkin. Quick pass to the left wing to Bo Bennett. Stops up, dumps it to the corner. Letang moving up. He's been moving up a lot in recent games. Now Spaulding with it. He shoots it. That's off a body. Reaching in was Malkin to take it away, and a turning shot by Letang wide of the goal. And Spaulding sent it behind the net. And Calvin DeHaan has it there for the Islanders.
You see Bennett on the left side there? His quote yesterday in the paper was harder to make plays to the middle from the left side. He tried to turn it there and did not connect on a pass to the middle of the ice there. And he just feels better on the right side.
Now one of the Islanders knocked down Oposo. Fans wanted a penalty. Nothing called, and Paul Martin moves it ahead. Letang stepped up to direct it up into the Islanders zone, and now a right wing pass to Nikolai Kulemin. Ahead for Grabner, too far for him. Martin to Scuderi, and up the right wing now for Craig Adams. Puck is dumped into the Penguin zone, and Fleury behind the net. It's Adams, Arcabello, and Sill on the ice for the Penguins right now. The Penguins' fourth line. Simon Dupre trying to get it out. Look at that battle. Dupre will go back for it now behind his own net. And the Islanders step into the bench. They make changes as Sill takes a left wing pass. Gets in behind Brian Straight. Cizikas wound it around, but it comes right to David Perron, who just stepped off the bench. A nice deke to get himself into the corner, and he winds it around for Harrington, but he'll back up. And he didn't want to pinch there. Clutterbuck moves it ahead now out of the reach of Hickey, the defenseman. And in on the forecheck goes Clutterbuck against Ehrhoff. He took him down with his legs there. When he realized he had fallen down, it looked to me like he tried to just prevent Ehrhoff from getting back into position by kind of cross-bodying him down there.
Yeah, he did. And you would call that a smart play. He didn't want to go and play the puck first. Neither did Ehrhoff, and they got in there, and he did tangle him up. And
now Casey Cizikas throws an elbow into the face of Ehrhoff, and that's going to be a penalty. He's going to take 2 guys.
Yeah.
Is that going to be for him?
You got a rough and a hole here, is what I saw the referee signal here as two players are flopping around like fish in the corner. And it was Ehrhoff again with Cizikas. Take a look. There's Ehrhoff. And you're going to see an that's definitely a hold. And finally, Cizikas trying to get him off with that left elbow. And I don't know if you get the hold if you don't get the elbow. So you get both. And we'll play some 4-on-4 hockey. And this is always exciting. These two teams. A couple of offensive-minded hockey clubs. Penguins are 5-5 on the 4-on-4 situation. The Islanders 2-2.
Sutter busts out of there after winning the draw against Tavares. Moves it to the right side. Knocked out of midair by DeHaan. Paul Martin to the puck. And offside. Actually, the high stick on the puck. They're going to bring this one back.
2 minutes roughing. Time penalties 3:43.
And they'll drop the puck in the Penguin zone here to the right of Marc-Andre Fleury.
They're a Day Automotive. Mark Recchi, 1,300 career points. Wow. In a 5-2 win versus the Islanders. Chris Kunitz got his 499th. Crosby's got 49 on the season. 1,300 points for Mark Recchi. What a career.
Brandon Sutter. Bo Bennett trying to get it to Sutter. 4-on-4. Sutter and Bennett up front. Martin and Letang are back. This is Tavares. He's up front with Ryan Strome. Passes the puck to Strome, who drops it off to Hamonic. Poke check by Sutter, but it comes through to DeHaan to Hamonic. His shot. And blocked away, and now pick it up by Chris Letang. And Letang trying to pull away from Tavares.
Tavares took that shot that was headed towards Marc-Andre Fleury.
Malkin takes the pass. Crosby on the ice as well. He tried to get it to him, but it's broken up, and the Islanders quickly counter. It's Okposo. He's got Nielsen going to the net. And he fluttered that one past Fleury off the stick of Scuderi. Now Okposo moves it along for Franz Nielsen. Nielsen for Okposo. Scuderi got that long stick in there to knock it away from him. Now he moves it out to Leddy. To Boychuk. Big shot, and a blocker save made by Fleury. And it goes up into the netting.
Talked about not feeding the transition to give away one end, chance at the other. They're the point leaders. Jakub Voracek not playing tonight for the Flyers. Malkin and Crosby. Tyler Johnson is injured.
Coming into the game, Crosby tied for first in points per game with 1.21 points per game. That'll go up. He's got 2 points already in this one. So even though he came into the game 9th in scoring, he's actually tied in terms of points per game, so he's right there again.
What award is that? Points per game award. No, he's
well, at the end of the season, if you have the most points per game, that's pretty good, but you might only have played half a season. We just know that Sid continues to produce, and he did miss games with the mumps.
Leads the National Hockey League in assists, does Sidney Crosby.
And starting to score goals again.
Yep.
Here's Josh Bailey to Boychuk. Tried to center it. Comes right to Perron, who scoots back for the Penguins. Dupre heading to the net. Perron shoots it. Save made. Rebound. Kunis tried to knock it out of midair, and he fanned on it. And Dupre with that center drive from his defensive position there, creating that space for Perron to shoot the puck. Now Malkin steps onto the ice. It's 5-on-5 hockey now as Malkin comes into the middle. Malkin tried a right wing pass. Cizikas there to read that, but now Spaulding keeps it into the corner. Hickey goes back for it. And up to Cizikas. Casey Cizikas trying to get it out. And gets some help from Brian Straight. And now stepping in with Cizikas, but it's offside against the Islanders. Cizikas looking back as if he didn't agree with that call. It would have been a good chance for him, but it's whistled down, and we'll come back with the Penguins leading by 1.
Well, we're still getting to know Mark Arcobello, or Arco as he's called by David Perron. But we do know this. He broke in with the Oilers back in 2013 and recorded 10 assists in his first 10 games. Now, over the last 2 decades, only 2 other rookies posted 10 assists in their first 10 games. Sidney Crosby with 12, Patrick Kane with 10. So Arco is among some very good company, guys. Maybe we'll see some of that talent to assist in the not-too-distant future.
I hope so.
Another nice pickup by Jim Rutherford, who does a great job during the course of the season of finding guys. He's done it just all season long for the Penguins. In tough situations with injuries to players. Here's a shot by Martin. Oh, he just missed the net. And it's picked up now by Kyle Oposo. You think of the acquisitions Jim Rutherford has made. Como, Hornquist, Ehrhoff just to start with. How about David Perron and on the start he's off to. Here's Letang down the wing shooting, and Halak got a shoulder on that shot, and there's Letang again leading the rush. Martin with a shot is blocked. Letang moves up and centers it, but nobody home in the slot. And Spaulding set it up on the right wing. Bo Bennett feeds it in behind the net for Evgeny Malkin. Good cycling here for the Penguins. Malkin, there's Letang again. He's making himself available closer to the net. Centering pass, loose around the goal. Spaulding can't get it up. And now it's frozen by Halak. Boy, Spaulding was there, just couldn't hoist the puck into the net.
Wow, I thought he was going to stay. I'm calling goal in my head as Malkin is there. He chips away. Spaulding, all he's going to do is elevate it over that right pad. I know he's got some bodies draped on him. Just couldn't make it happen. There's Malkin. Spaulding comes in. He had a chance to get it up. The blocker was there. Just didn't quite get it elevated right under that crossbar. Halak, big stop there against that second line of the Penguins. And the first line had 8 of the 10 shots in the first period. Great to see the second line getting a great opportunity there against the Tavares unit. And during that shift, you could see Scuderi and Dupre got off the ice to go against John Tavares, who went around Simon Dupre for the first goal.
Perron trying to pull the trigger there, and the Islanders take it away and go the other way. And it's DeHaan right up the middle. And broken up by the Penguins in transition. Crosby dropped it off for Perron. Down the boards for Sid. He was hit by Hamonic. Brock Nelson to the puck. He's hit by David Perron. Good physical play there by Perron to pry the puck free. Now he and Kunitz go to work. Perron wins the battle coming off the wall with it. And that's another aspect of his game that's been impressive here. Fits right in with Kunitz and Crosby in that department. Kuhlman cuts into the middle. Left side, Grabner, and he couldn't pull the trigger. Ehrhoff was there to defend against him. Now Nelson slips the check of Kunitz, but stepping in is Christian Ehrhoff, and he'll lug the puck back for the Penguins. Ehrhoff drives it into the Islanders' zone. Crazy bounce right in front of the net. And swept away by the goaltender Halak. Cleared up the wall by Straight. Nielsen trying to get a hold of it, and he'll drop it back to Straight.
You got to take advantage of a bounce like that. Ron Duguay, he once went 35 without a game. He pulled the stick off a wall in a bar in New York, and he got a bounce like that, put it into an empty net, Staggy, when he played for the Penguins, right here in this building, right here.
Straight shot knocked down by the glove of Fleury.
Just thought I'd throw that out there quickly. Ron Duguay, because I saw him last night on TV with the locks to flowing.
Still looking as good as ever. There's a shot and blocked. Racing after it, Downey. Gets around Strome to the goal, Downey. Big save by Halak with the right pad. Downey brings it up high. Controls the puck nicely. And taken away now by Anders Lee. Game opens up a bit here. Strome dumps it to the Penguin zone. Scuderi goes back for it. Round now for Simon Dupre. Arcabello moves it left side. Downey overskates. Arcabello follows on. They say he plays bigger than he is. He's only 5'8", 175 pounds. He played a lot with the Edmonton Oilers, averaging about 15 minutes. I saw one game where he played 22 minutes for the Oilers.
He's got 8 goals on the season.
Now here's Sill. To the net. Save made by Halak. Good backhand try there by Sill. Quick counter for the Islanders. Here's Martin. Slows the play down, waits for help here, and then shoots it. Save made as he had Clutterbuck going to the net, who crashed right into Fleury. Flower gives him a shot to the back of the helmet, and now Sill takes a piece of him. The referee watching everything.
Yeah, they're going to let the referee's going to give Sill a little bit of a face wash. Fleury in there. Clutterbuck trying to muck everything up.
Now it's Malkin, and he takes off for the Penguins. Gino digging in as he comes towards the Islanders' zone. Malkin turns and shoots it. He just missed on the stick side of Halak. Now it's Martin dumping it down the boards. Tough play there by Spaulding to make sure he got it to the corner. Bo Bennett tried to bring it in front. And now Tavares passes it between his own legs, but it's intercepted by Spaulding, who backhands it down into the corner for Hamonic. Up ice, look out, Tavares. Martin had a beat on him. Tavares defended beautifully by Martin, who reached in with a stick and just took it away from him.
This is who the Penguins want out. They want Martin and Letang out against the Tavares unit. You saw what happened earlier in the hockey game when they didn't get that matchup, and they've been working hard to get it here in the second.
Bailey Shoots it. Save. Fleury. That got him up high. Now Street steps up to the puck and he shot it. It was blocked. Spaulding put his body down in front of the goal. Tavares sent it around to the left side for Hickey. Hickey lost the puck. Martin carries it to the red line, gains that, and then dumps it into the Islanders zone and goes to the bench. Penguins playing a good physical game here tonight. They're playing responsibly defensively. They're straight with it, leading it towards the net. Kunitz backhander went wide. And a big bounce off the boards for Kunitz. Back he comes for the Penguins. Chasing him down is Grabner. Kunitz able to work it all the way to the corner. Boychuk sending it around to the opposite corner, but Crosby, the first man on it. He gave it right to Kuhlman. Was able to find Grabner. Grabner to the right wing to okay. Nelson shoots it wide of the goal. Grabner in there working. Crosby as well, along with Ehrhoff. And Ehrhoff up the boards for Perron. He'll turn. It's a tough play on his off wing there. He's able to turn and move the puck across. And getting it out was Harrington to center, and Kunitz dumps it into the Islanders zone. Perron more accustomed to making those tough plays on his off wing in his own zone because he's basically listed as a left winger, a right shot. And the Penguins are using him on the right wing with Sid, but in that instance he was on the opposite side. Now here's Dupre with it, and Dupre sent it up the wall for Downey. Downey to Sutter.
Got to use 4 lines here, Staggy. You have to do it. You haven't been getting any whistles here. This is a high-paced second period.
I like the lineup Mike Johnston put together for that reason. Here's Strome down the wing. Strome tried to pass to Nielsen. He probably should have shot it himself. Now the big drive there by the Islanders, and a shot. They score. Strome scores on a rebound. Anders Lee came in and shot it. It ended up right on the stick of Strome, and he put it in to make it a 2-2 hockey game.
Ryan Strome leads the season series in points for the New York Islanders. After Downey hit the goalpost, we didn't have a whistle. That was his last shift. He's back on the ice again. And the Islanders win the battle in front. Scuderi and Downey there. But Strome gets his stick on the puck. And that second opportunity puts it pad side against Marc-Andre Fleury. Gives Strome 5 points in the season series for Ryan Strome. First rounder back in 2011. Came into the game a plus 14. And we're tied at 2. I tell you, Marc-Andre Fleury's been getting banged in this hockey game. He got ran over by Clutterbuck. Nelson the next shift. Referees are letting the teams play as much as they can, and we've seen both teams be effective going to the blue paint.
Strome.
New York Islanders goals.
Lee and Nielsen assisting. Icing against the Islanders. They tie the game at 2.
In that sequence, Sutter blocked the shot too, and he was gimping around on that ice. As you look at the tops in the Metropolitan Division, how they got there.
Islanders very strong against the division. The Penguins not so much, but the Penguins are dominant against the Atlantic and also the West. The Islanders have done a good job against the Penguins, Capitals, and Rangers this year. Cizikas works it in behind, taken now by Hickey. He'll lift it to the left wing. Matt Martin sent it into the middle off a stick.
You think of the chances here. Spaulding and Downey in the second period to go up 3-1. Spaulding unable to score. Downey hits the goal post, and Strome comes back to even the score at 2. 6:58 left in this period.
You are looking at Penguins general manager Jim Rutherford, and the playoffs could bring the Penguins back to the Coliseum, but if this is their last trip here, Jim could say he finished what he started. The former goalie was here when the Penguins made their first ever visit to the island on October 17th, 1972. Now, he wasn't in the pipes that night. Denny Huron got the start. Ron Schock had 3 points in a 5-0 win. 8,175 saw the game in person, including you, Staggy, right?
No, I was not there in 72. I was in college. Here's Sidney Crosby. I was in Kent, Ohio. The Kent State Clippers. Ehrhoff steps up, gets a stick on it ahead for Crosby. Trying to barge to the net. Travis Hamonic and David Perron tangle up. Crosby one hands went into the slot. Well, this is what we expected from the Islanders. They're a team with great resilience. We talked about them winning 13 games this year when they've allowed the first goal, so it's going to be a battle right to the end. You know that. And the Penguins knew it too coming in. And that's what made this game such an attractive event for all of us. We were really looking forward to it.
Well, the Islanders have really got contributions. Tavares, they get it tonight from Tavares and Oposo. Really been quiet in the season series. Strome's been the best in terms of points with 5 points. And for Pittsburgh, Hornquist, 3 goals and 3 assists unavailable for the Penguins, but should be back soon by all reports, maybe a couple weeks away.
Ehrhoff works it up the wall. Perron tried to steer it out. It was just held in by Boychuk, who shot it wide. And then Martin sends it around for Ehrhoff, who fires it up the near wall. And again, Sill trying to get it out there. So it was Sill on the near wall who was trying to clear. And now Adams takes it on the near boards, and he looks like he's going to get an opportunity to finally get it out. And up the boards it comes to the Islanders. Tavares at center ice. Can't do anything with it. Sill again on the wall, bumps into Boychuk. He went down, and Tavares has control. Now the Penguins, 2/3 of their fourth line go to the bench. Sill continues to battle on the near boards. Bailey drops it back. Tavares. Letang intercepts the pass intended for Oposo. Sends Downey away. He drops it off to Gotch. Right side, Sutter. He shoots it wide. Boy, Sutter with a great opportunity there against the lock, and a good passing play by the combination of Gotch and Downey. And now Gotch moves it back to Letang.
Off the turnover by Tavares at the other end. What a read by Letang, Staggy. And Sutter, he didn't go to the bread and butter. He thought he was going to go high to the blocker's side. He went glove side, hit the side of the net there, and boy, Sutter has been so dangerous coming down that right side this year for the Pittsburgh Penguins. What an opportunity there. You get center drive from Downey, and there's the short side shot by Sutter. And all season long, we've seen him go to that blocker side, that far side, turn the wrist over and put it right inside that far goal post. Sutter with a chance to put his 10th on the board. He's got 9.
He was born on Long Island. He got 9 goals and 16 points in 24 games against the team his dad used to play for. So he likes playing against the Islanders.
Well, listen, he's a goal scorer. You look at his numbers. He's got more goals and assists this year in his career. 86 goals and 82 assists for a centerman. That's not typical. Normally centermen, you know, a lot more assists. They're touching the puck and distributing it. Sutter, he's a sniper.
Here's Spaulding again with an opportunity in tight, and it goes trickles right to the glove of Yaroslav Halak. 4:22 to go in the second period. It is a tight battle on Long Island. Well, Professor Mike Johnston, Dr. Johnston, has a PhD in hockey, I guess you could say. And we have 2 guys on the bench tonight who are graduates of some pretty good schools, the Ivy League schools of Yale and Harvard. Mark Arcobello, a major in political science. Greg Adams majored in history. And here they are in the NHL.
Great stuff. Bobby Farnham, we saw him go. Great article about him today, Staggy. They wondered how he...
Great article in the USA Today. Fabulous. His picture was on the cover of USA Today, Bobby Farnham.
Oh, and he went to Brown. And
yes, he did.
It's hard to imagine the way he plays the game.
Malkin fans on the shot. Actually was partially deflected away from him as he was trying to one-time it. And now it's Paul Martin paired up with Chris Letang. The Islanders outscoring their opposition 7-0 in the second period in the last 3 games. So they've been very good in the middle period. And they have been able to come back and tie this game at 2 here in the second. Malkin works it to the right wing to Bo Bennett. Into the middle now for Spaulding. Spaulding's got to go back and get the puck. A turnover to the neutral zone, and Strome, who entered the game leading the Islanders with a +14. The guy who tied the game, he dumped it in, and now Bennett turns it right back out for Martin. Ahead now to Malkin. He got tangled up with the linesman and Matt Martin, who just stepped out of the bench. Then Letang sent it up the wall. And it's Martin. Reaching in, Bennett. And nobody could hang on to the puck much, and so they get an offside call.
And the linesman kept getting in the way, so he just blew the whistle and said, let's try this over again, guys.
I'm talking to Arcobello today. He played at Oklahoma City. And he was talking about the city, and he said, the weather's nice there. I said, any tornadoes? And I kind of said it half kiddingly, and he goes, oh yeah. He goes, when we were playing for Oklahoma City, we had a tornado coming. We all had to go into a parking garage, and he said it destroyed our locker room. And then after he told that story, I did recall a story about them being involved in a tornado out there. The Edmonton Oilers farm team. Centering pass. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it did some damage to the locker room of the Oilers farm team in Oklahoma City. And here's Dupre ahead now for Kunitz. Headmans the puck to Perron. Looks right side to Kunitz. He looks back, banks it back there to Scuderi, settles it down and dumps it in deep. Crosby, Perron, and Kunitz on the ice for the Penguins with 2:55 to go in the second period. Nice hit there by Kunitz, but then turning it back to center ice was Matt Martin. Paul Martin dumps it right ahead where it's picked up by Perron. A shot, and Halak makes the save. Crosby in there looking for the rebound.
Yeah, and he tripped over Halak. He's got to the cage again. The Penguins want to get to his feet. They want to bump him. The Islanders are taking exception. The fourth line of New York on the ice here right now. And Matt Martin grabbing Crosby right now. Kunitz getting in there with the Hahn. They want to keep Halak, the Penguins away from Halak, and this is what this is all about here right now.
And then Perron came in as if to say, okay, I'll get in on this too. He started initiating a little bit there.
Halak going to the All-Star game. There's Perron and Clutterbuck. Take a look. Good bank pass by Martin. There's the shot. Watch Crosby. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to push you in. I'm going to get in there myself. I'm going to let you know we're going to the front of the net, and then you see these combatants get together. Well, Perron already with 4 goals in 5 games for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Clutterbuck and Martin with the hits. They have led the league in hits, one of the two, in the last 7 years. First Clutterbuck for 4 years, and now Martin for the last 3, or the other way around, 3 and 4. Either way, 7 straight years, one of those two has been at the top.
Yep. First Clutterbuck and then Martin.
I notice the Islanders fans have a special cheer now that they do when the Islanders score. One of those organic things that just happens. There's a shot by Aroff. They've got a great atmosphere here. They're selling out again on Long Island, just in time to move to Brooklyn.
Some say they might be back. Who knows?
Kuhlman moves it to the right side. Nelson over the line. Centers for Grabner. He tried to go to Kuhlman. It goes right through the goal mouth, and Downey takes it the other way. Good gap there for Brian Straight on Sutter, who slipped it behind him, and then Downey gets around Straight to get to the puck in the corner. Brock Nelson follows on to get possession, and out the Islanders come.
Did you see how Nelson got there? The Penguins, Rick Tocchet talking to Dan Potash, wanted the second guy in there quicker. They didn't get the second guy in there quicker. Nelson got in, the puck out of the Islanders zone. And that's what Rick Tocchet wants. We can't have a one-man forecheck, he said.
Minute 53 to go in the second period. Kyle Okposo into the Penguin zone. Okposo with a shot. Kicked out by Fleury. Rebound! Coming to the goal there was Tavares. He just couldn't get a clean shot off as Harrington defended against him. He and Aroff under some pressure there. Now here's Tavares again trying to split the D. A shot just wide of the goal by Okposo. That hit a body on the way in. So this top line of the Islanders making it happen right now. Tavares again. Looks for Boychuk, who moves up. Boychuk checked by Spalling into the boards. Harrington follows on. Harrington kicking the puck free. It's a big test for Scott Harrington, paired up with Christian Ehrhoff here tonight against a physical Islanders team. And now Sutter lifts it out to center. Bo Bennett trying to drag it around a man. Okposo worked it ahead though. Bailey steps in and lost the puck, and now Bennett's got it. Less than a minute remaining in the period. Bennett's lead pass from Malkin picked off in the neutral zone by Bailey, who dumps it in. Aroff takes a look over the right shoulder, winds it to the corner. Franz Nielsen back to the point to Hahn. Looked up and the puck went right by him. And now Sidney Crosby bearing down on Yaroslav Halak, who got it to DeHaan, and he lifts it out to center to Strome. And now to the left wing. Nielsen dumps it behind the Penguins' goal with 33 seconds to go in the period. Penguins have to hold the fort here for the remainder of the period. Here's Letang. And Letang looks to his right, finds Sidney Crosby. He drops it off to Malkin. Malkin, Perron, slap shot, he missed the net. Hamonic had been knocked down in front by Crosby. Those two tangle as Letang works it down low. Perron, 10 seconds to go in the period. Perron's tripped on the near boards. That'll be a penalty. Here's Letang in front, and Crosby shoots. He scores! With 4.4 to go in the period, the Penguins in a delayed penalty situation have retaken the lead.
I'll tell you, that is work. And that's getting the two-headed monster together. That's having everybody buy in and digging and going to the front of the net. Crosby went to the front of the net. He knocked down Hamonic earlier. And then you see the defenseman Martin over to Crosby. And Crosby was able to corral it, I believe, with his skate and then his stick. I'm not sure exactly, guys. Maybe on his backhand. But he stuck with it. He was patient and he elevated the puck. And that had a little bit of everything from one end to the other.
I said the Islanders, the Penguins had to hold the fort. It turned out the Islanders couldn't hold the fort because Sidney Crosby has his first 2-goal game since October 28th.
I tell you, he's getting to the net. He is. He's being a pain. Nobody's liking him right now. He's getting dirty, getting the nose dirty. And for Crosby, I told you, he can do a lot of work with his hands, with his feet, with everything around that cage, and he elevated that puck perfectly.
Penguins outshoot the Islanders 9-8. The Islanders scored 2, but the Penguins come back with another one from Sid, and they lead it going to the third period. Let's go to Robin Jay.
Penguins lead the Islanders 3-2 after 2 periods of play, with first place in the Metropolitan Division on the line at Nassau Coliseum. In case you're just joining us, here is what you've missed.
Malkin now for Kunitz, a shot, save, score, the rebound. Crashing the net was Crosby. He'll get the goal and off his body into the net. Here's Letang with it now. Perron with a drive, he scores! Here's Tavares down the wing. Nice move to the goal, centers, score, Okposo. Now the big drive there by the Islanders, and a shot, they score! Strome scores on a rebound. Perron's tripped on the near boards, that'll be a penalty. Here's Letang in front, and Crosby shoots, he scores! Sidney Crosby going to the net, getting goals, Bob.
Yeah, there's a trend. You see it. You saw it with Malkin, and pretty soon he may be leading the National Hockey League, but not so soon. Sidney Crosby, after this game, continuing his dominance against the Islanders, going to the net, scoring his first goal off his body. It continued. He bumped into Halak before he got his second goal. Went to the front of the net. Banged Hamonic down, created room for himself. And when the puck came over from the stick of Martin at the end of this shift, guess who was wide open? Sidney Crosby, and his hands very quick, very soft, backhand to forehand, able to flick it up over top of Halak. The Penguins had a game plan in mind that was get to the blue paint. They've been following through on that game plan, and let's see if they can hold off the Islanders in the third.
I thought that was your game plan, isn't it?
Oh, sorry.
Because you said that was a tips to win here tonight.
Well, we talked to Gary Agnew this morning, and he said, you know, most goalies don't like traffic, of course, but, you know, Halak doesn't like it that much, and he gave us a little insight, Staggy. So he said, we're going to go with it.
Here come the Penguins to center. And back for the puck, goes straight. Up the wall for Matt Martin. To the right wing. Cal Clutterbuck worked it deep. Dupre against Cizikas. Downey sent it behind to Dupre and ahead now to Sutter. Sill in on the forecheck. Around it comes to the near side where Nielsen is able to chip it out to center. And Fleury sets it up for Paul Martin. Held in by DeHaan, steered away by Fleury to the corner, and Letang has it. And Letang golfs one up into the Islanders zone, and back to get it goes Hamonic at an icicle.
Well, Sidney Crosby's line through 2 periods of play. This is the damage that they have done. A couple power play goals, scoring one late, Sidney Crosby as well. So all getting on the board. Look at the shots, 11 shots so far in Crosby's first 2-goal game, as you mentioned earlier, since October 28th against the Devils. And you got to give Martin credit. He jumps up, he looks up at the clock, he says, hey, there's only 10 seconds left. I don't have to play defense. He joins through, he gets right up in front of the net. And yes, maybe he wasn't trying to pass it to Crosby. That wasn't the point. He got involved. The puck did go from his stick to Sidney Crosby's stick. He got an assist. Really good ice awareness and clock awareness by Paul Martin.
Clock awareness. I was going to ask you about that very thing. He moved up there knowing that he could do so without it hurting his team, right?
Yep.
Here's Martin with it inside the blue line, and he'll dump it in behind. And I wanted to ask you about Letang moving up, because it seems like he's doing that more, Bob. And I don't know, is it my imagination, or do you see that too as we get an offside call here? That Letang is sort of moving up and getting more involved in the offense. He scored that beautiful goal the other night.
Well, I think he feels pretty comfortable playing alongside Martin. Martin leads the team in blocks. Martin's usually always back. He's got great speed, Letang, anyway, to get back on his own, but Martin's got great speed as well. And when you're starting to reap the rewards of moving up, then you start doing it more. We saw him scoring a goal, turn it to the backhand the other night against the Wild. So he's creating up there. He's been a positive, not a negative.
I believe his career high is 15 goals. I'd have to take a look, but he's on pace to surpass that this year. He's got 9 now, so Letang, he does have that in him to score more goals. Relive a memorable game from the Pirates 14 season, Monday nights on Pirates Playback. The series continues as the Pirates make history with the first ever video review walk-off on May 6th of 2014. See this unforgettable win against the Giants again on Pirates Playback Monday at 7 on Root Sports. Letang's career high is 11, I beg your pardon, 11. So I said 15. He hasn't reached that. I think he's going to surpass his career high if he's got 9 already, right? Especially if he keeps moving up. He keeps moving up the way he is and putting himself in position to score. Harrington working the corner there, stayed on his skates. It looked like he was going to fall down in there as he threw a body check, but he was able to maintain his balance. And the Penguins are able to get the puck out here. It was taken by Bennett, threw it into the middle past Malkin, and Halak will play the puck over to Nick Leddy, and the former Blackhawk. Comes ahead now. He can lug it. He's not really turning himself loose tonight, though. Leddy can really go when he has some room to carry it. We haven't seen him do that much. Here's Arcobello turning it ahead now for Craig Adams, who dumps it up into the corner.
Leddy, I feel first-round pick of the Minnesota Wild, and then the Chicago Blackhawk coming over.
Arcobello moves over along with Gotch. Arcobello won the battle, shot it to the net. Halak made the save. Gotch in there against Straight, who was able to get the puck up the right wing wall for Oposo. He drops it off to Tavares, and he dumps it right to the Penguin goal. Fleury sets it up for Paul Martin. And Paul Martin carries the puck out of his own zone. What an amazing and valuable player he is for the Penguins, Paul Martin. Here's Letang coming to the goal. Turns around the net. Oh, he threw it right in front past Gotch. But out to Martin, a shot, and a glove save made by Halak. And there was Letang again. Moving up.
He lost the puck for a second. Then he goes around the net. Gotch is right on the doorstep, and the pass just a little too hard for him to stop with his skate. Look at the little aerial pass by Arcobello. Letang can't really handle it, but then he finds Gotch there. Gotch right between the wickets, unable to track it down and put it into that vacated net.
I think that's a dimension that Mike Johnston wants in the game more. And I think that during the course of the year, he's been making sure that he installs different aspects to the Penguins game as he goes on, with drills, with practice. And as time wears on, I think you're going to see more creativity from the defense, more involvement from the defense.
He's got to do it. I mean, Pouliot was sent down. He could do that kind of thing and join those kind of rushes and create a lot offensively. Letang, when you got those skills, why let them go to waste?
Puck is dumped into the Islanders zone. Crosby threw it in front. Halak fanned on an attempt to clear it. Perron over to play it. Crosby collides with the Hahn behind the net. Tries to walk in front. Sid tangled up there by Hamonic on the goalpost. Backhand shot. Perron stopped by Halak. Puck squirts to the corner, and Travis Hamonic on his backhand got it up the boards, but Dupre on his backhand held it into the corner. Crosby again working against DeHaan. And DeHaan sent it behind the net for Hamonic. On certain nights, it doesn't have to deal with, you know, those really strong, stout defensemen that can really kind of shut him down. We got an icing call. This might be one of those teams that he feels more comfortable against than others.
Yeah, he did until this hit. Watch this. DeHaan one-upped them. But you know what? Sid wouldn't be denied. Most guys would have been flat on their rear there. And he's so strong, Staggy, because DeHaan surprised him with that kind of reverse hit. And look at Crosby trying to get in there to the post, mucking it up. I think he's actually enjoying it. Why not? He's already got a deuce.
He's dialed in tonight. You can just see from that last shot we had him on the bench. He's really in a zone right now. From the draw, taken by Bennett. Bennett looks in front. Malkin! He was tripped or hauled down by Cizikas, but still got a good shot away there. And Halak had to make a save. Drop pass, air off, slap shot off the stick of Hamonic. Spaulding was in front trying to redirect it. Now Strome sends it around. The Penguins coming on here. They got the Islanders on their heels a bit here early in the third period, leading 3-2.
Well, once again, the leaders are leading by example, and it's not the pretty behind the back play, all this kind of fancy dancy stuff. It's nuts and bolts, getting to the net. Malkin doing it again right there, and everybody following suit.
Mike Johnson said he wanted the team to be more assertive. He said, you're going to see a more assertive performance from us here tonight. And they've been kind of dwelling on that loss to the Islanders last time they met. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
You know what you have to do here. If you're going to kind of expend this kind of energy, you got to keep the shift short. And I mentioned at the start of the telecast, Malkin, the last 5 games, under 20 minutes, and they've managed his minutes again tonight. Only 11 coming into the third period of play. He's got a lot left in the tank here when you need him here in this third period of play. And prior to that, 12 of his last 13 games, Malkin, were over that 20-minute mark.
Letang moving up, centering it. Out of the corner, try to center it again. Now Letang trapped a bit as the Islanders come to center. It's Anders Lee. Letang hustling to get back in the play. Lee shot, stopped by Fleury, rebound. And that one just kind of fluttered past Fleury wide of the goal. Now Sill tried to move it out. Held in by the Islanders. The turning shot by Boychuk missed the cage. Out to Nick Leddy. One-timer by Franz Nielsen is blocked away. Martin over to the puck against Strome. Sill steps in. He pries it free. Downey springs Brandon Sutter to center ice. Sutter trying to spring around the defense. He tried to get around Leddy and couldn't do so. Leddy went down on the puck and on the stick of Boychuk. Now for Leddy. And Kunitz forcing him back into the corner. Kunitz for Perron. Shot. He just got that shot away so sneakily there. Right off the logo of Halak. And he took a heavy check from Boychuk, and he's shaken up a bit by that hit. As the puck is iced by the Islanders, they'll bring it back into the Islanders zone. Perron says something to Johnny Boychuk.
You know, he's saying something about the skate. You're trying to kick me with the skate. I tell you, he is sneaky. He had a backhand chance on the shift prior to this, did Perron, and Lee was being caught by Letang. Letang, you talked about being up ice. He was up ice on his last shift, and you got to back him up. So with us talking about Letang and the team knowing that he's joining Rush's, your right winger primarily has to back him up at most points. It's usually the F3 forward, but on that side might be the right winger. It was Downey on that last shift.
One thing about Letang, I mean, yeah, all guys need a guy to back him up, but there aren't many guys who can recover either, like he can if he does move up.
Exactly.
Now down the wing comes Sidney Crosby, and Crosby will drop it off to Kunitz. Kunitz backhander, blocker saved by Halak. Penguins getting pucks to the net. Now it's Bailey into the Penguin zone. And 4 Penguins were back there. Now it's driven in by Hamonic. He broke his stick. He has to go to the bench to get a new one, and the Penguins send the puck the length of the ice. No icing on the play as Hickey goes back to play it.
I know Perron wanted to get off the ice because he's tired, and now he gets a late change because he was expecting an icing call.
Bailey flipped it back to the net. Backhander score. Oposo somehow hoisted that one on the backhand over Fleury to tie the game at 3.
Well, it was a tough change for the Penguins. The puck went down the ice. Perron was on an extended shift. I don't know what it hit. It hit a little crack in the boards. Take a look. It comes down right here. Hits a little crack in the boards. Perron is now getting a change late. He goes over there. It's a 3-on-2, and 10 seconds later, the puck goes to the pads of Fleury and is put in by Oposo. A bad bounce, bad change, and a rebound goal, and we're tied at 3. That was really strange right there. I have no idea what that would have hit down there as it was just trickling down the ice, that puck.
That's kind of reminiscent of a lot of goals we've seen the Islanders get against Fleury in this building. Bad bounce type goals, you know, where he gives up a little rebound there, and there's Oposo to pounce on it to put it in. Just
when you get an old building, the boards aren't perfect. You get that crappy bounce, and the next thing you know, the puck's in your net.
back to get it goes to Prey, and the Islanders not going away, just as we expected they wouldn't. So we have a battle here in the third. It's Oposo from Tavares and Bailey, and those top guys for the Islanders have really been a force here tonight. It's the second goal of the game for Oposo.
And and he elevated that puck. He made no mistake. He was in tight on Fleury off the right pad and unable to get his stick.
I was looking at his sticks today. I was sitting there talking to him. I said, look at your sticks. I said, they're straight like Sid's. He goes, no. He said, Sid's are scary straight. He goes, I have a little heel curve, but he really does have a chance to make a good backhand shot with that stick.
There's the goal scorer, Oposo. Take a look at Perron on the right side of the ice. Convinced as the Penguins are tonight. Look at him. He's just trying to get his breath. He knows it's going to be ice. Oh, Hickey's got to turn back because it hits the boards. Now Perron goes across the ice. You see him there. It's already a 3-on-2. The puck comes around behind the net out to the point. A tough rebound. And Oposo makes no mistake, lifting that puck up over top of Marc-Andre Fleury.
And Tavares just got a piece of that puck coming through. It changed the speed of the puck, and that's what forced Fleury to kind of have the puck play him, and it bounced off him, and then there was Oposo to pounce on the rebound. So it wasn't really a pass from Tavares as he just deflected it to the net. And it was a change-up on Fleury. Here's Leddy now into the Penguin zone. Ahead for Nielsen, a backhander. Save made, rebound. Fleury somehow got in front of the opportunity there for Leddy as he moved up on the play. And now a battle in front of the net, a stick battle going on between Ehrhoff and Strome.
Be careful not to take a penalty here as the Penguins have Gotch out on the fourth line instead of Sill for that last go-around.
Strome dumps it in. 11:50 to go. A great struggle between two powerhouses in the Eastern Conference right now, the Penguins and Islanders.
Sill moves up to this third line, if you will, with Downey and Sutter.
Oposo down the wing in his own zone, and he turns it back behind the net and around for Straight, who lifts it off the boards and back into the Penguin zone. Martin for Sutter, who banked it ahead. It'll bounce into the Islanders zone, and Hickey goes back to get it. Hickey turns it up ahead to the right wing. He is hit back there. I heard it, and I look back, and it's Downey who took a piece of him and after he had iced the puck.
Let's take a look at that battle behind the play. Strome, who's got a goal here, and Ehrhoff right in front of Marc-Andre Fleury. There's the cross-check by Strome. Cross-checks Ehrhoff right into Fleury. And then he just stands there, and each of them get a little bit of a whack in, and Ehrhoff tries to move up ice, knowing that Strome is well offside.
Penguins won the draw. Crosby won against Tavares. Letang's shot is blocked. Oposo ahead now for Tavares. Into the Penguin zone. Tavares against Martin. Looks back. Martin stays on him. Tavares turns it back into the corner. Crosby looks over his shoulder. Nice play to move it out to Letang, who, with second effort, gets it out to center, where it's dumped right back in by Hamonic.
How about the great defense by Martin on Tavares? He stops. Stick on puck, stays with him, blocks another chance.
Now the whole city wants the Penguins to trade Paul Martin right now. It ain't happening, folks. Here's Kunitz with it now. He centers, and it's off a leg. Kunitz gets it back. One-timer Perron, and he, from one knee, shot it wide of the goal. Now it's Grabner, and he'll bank it off the boards to center, and Perron back to the puck. Left it there for Dupre. Over to Scuderi. Now for Simon Dupre, and he'll step to center. Ahead for Perron, who dumps it into the Islanders zone, and Halak didn't play it. Martin got a piece of it, but Scuderi steps up to it, and he flips it wide of the goal. Back in to get it goes Malkin. Spalling there trying to win the battle on the boards. And finally it's poked back to center by Kuhlman and handled there by Rob Scuderi. From Syosset, Long Island, over now to Dupre, and ahead now on the right wing to Malkin. Drop pass, Spalling to Malkin, and his shot hit Leddy. Lead pass out of the reach of Casey Cizikas. Came to Ehrhoff, who softly banked it off the boards. And skating to the puck is Matt Martin. And that fourth line of the Islanders on the ice here. Harrington goes back against Cizikas, makes a tough play there to send it up the near wall. And now it's Malkin with it in his own zone. In front of his own net to Harrington. Now to Spalling. These guys need to get off. Spalling dumps it in. And he turns and goes to the bench. Nick Leddy under pressure from Bo Bennett. Leddy now carrying the puck as he's prone to do. He moves it up into the Penguin zone, and Letang will go back to get it. Letang spins away from Anders Lee. Nice pass into the middle now to Sutter. Sutter for Downey on the left wing. That pass didn't connect. And is picked up by Paul Martin, who drops it off to Chris Letang. Letang goes left wing to Marcel Gotch into the middle to Sutter. Trying to split the D. Sutter to the goal. And reaching in was Frans Nielsen to take it away. Now Nielsen after the puck. He and Sutter in a battle for it. Sutter lost his stick. Nielsen got the puck and dropped it off to Strome. Hopping into the Penguin zone. Strome centers to Lee, the backhander. Martin got in front of that to block it. He got a stick down to block that shot. Centering pass by Lee comes all the way through and out to DeHaan, a drive and a glove save made by Fleury, and no further play.
Well, Lee has had some great opportunities. That one may have just slid off the stick to the left side of Fleury, but boy, he's been dangerous all game.
Subway sandwich of the game, Bob.
Let's give it to Bo Bennett here tonight on Brock Nelson. Big hit.
Brock
the
Nelson,
Penguin winner.
one of many first-round picks of Garth Snow. You have to give him a lot of credit. He's probably in line to be considered very strongly for General Manager of the Year. The job he's done for the Islanders. Here's DeHaan moving up. He centered one, broken up.
Well, the Penguins, they got to turn the tide here. The last 7 shots to Islanders.
Crosby comes back. He's got Kunitz with him. Crosby pulls up. Nobody coming late here. So now he drops it off to Perron, who fired it into the goal mouth and right on the stick of Hamonic, who sends Josh Bailey up the left wing. Bailey looks right wing. Oposo shoots. He scores. The hat trick for Kyle Oposo. And the Islanders lead at 4-3.
And that's the first career NHL hat trick for Kyle Oposo, and here come the hats. And the Penguins, Sidney Crosby stopped on a dime at the far end. He had a defenseman going to the net and a winger. David Perron came really late, but the puck was turned over in the front of the net. Hamonic set the Islanders off. Kind of a 4-on-2, if you will. The Penguins got back a little bit late. They had center drive, and Oposo coming late to that vacated area, took the pass, snapped it blocker side on Fleury, who had to move right to left, and his first hat trick ever for Kyle Oposo.
Bob, on a rush like that, you need back pressure, do you not? You got to have back pressure.
Yeah, you had a couple guys going to the net. They didn't get back quick enough. That's Oposo's first. His second to tie it up at 3, and then Bailey found him here as you had that center drive by Tavares, and with Perron being a forward, he turned the puck over in front. Hamonic right away went the other way. The Penguins had a defenseman caught up ice, along with Kunitz, who was going to the net. Crosby was looking for a defenseman coming late. It really didn't materialize. It took a long time for Perron, who seemed a little bit winded at the end of that shift. And the Islanders took advantage of that quick transition. You don't want to feed the transition. Perron tried to get it to the net. Let's give the Islanders credit. They came 185 feet to score that goal.
That's their game. That's that transition game that we came to notice when they played the Penguins in the playoffs 2 years ago. That ability to get up the ice in a hurry.
So that's the last 8 shots anyways have gone the Islanders' way here as they've really turned the tide.
And the crowd is a big factor in this building now. It's a very loud building. It reminds me very much of the heyday of the Islanders now. As they'll be closing out this final season. In the second half, they've got a lot of home games too, including this one here tonight. 23 home games, and they came into this game with a record of 14-4 on home ice. So this is a place where they're going to have a big help from their crowd, and they might win a lot more games before the end of the year.
Well, Chuck Grillo always loved Kyle Oposo, worked up at his hockey camp up in Brainerd, Minnesota. Did Oposo, always loved the way he worked, thought he had his own injuries, shoulder injuries that he had to fight through. It really took him a good part of 2 years to get back to the place where he was kind of this year and the end of last year. So Kyle Oposo has really turned into the kind of star that they thought he was going to be.
Yeah, Chuck Grillo was a scout with the Penguins, and they really liked Oposo the year he was drafted in 06. But they took Jordan Staal, of course. Now an offside play here, and the linesman fell down on the far side. He's okay, gets up. There'll be a face-off outside the Islanders' blue line. So the Islanders keep coming. They have 29 shots to 23 for the Penguins. They've outshot their opponents the last 14 games. And in the last 2 games, 40 and 44 shots. And they've registered 40 or more 9 times. I don't think they'll get to that tonight. Only 7:47 left.
Well,
the Penguins have some work to do.
We might get to overtime.
Yep, the Penguins have been resilient tonight too, but
New York Islanders goal.
the Islanders just keep pouring it on, don't they? They don't seem to care what the score is. And if they're down in games, if they're tied in games, they just keep coming. Now Ehrhoff sends it up the right wing boards, and Downey is there into the middle for Sutter. Sutter trying to get around Hickey. Sutter to the puck. He's got a man going to the net. Sill, and he passed it right by him. He just couldn't get the stick on it. Sill with it again now. And he looked to the point, but Harrington had stepped to his right. He's got to go back now. Fleury will step out and hurry the play along for Christian Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff's pass for Downey, picked off by Strome, who drops it off to Nielsen. Nielsen looks back to DeHaan. Hamonic wants the puck. He's got it. His wrist shot. Knocked down by the glove of Fleury. Hamonic has it again. Behind the net now. This line likes to work the puck behind the goal. And we get a whistle here. A high stick on the puck, and there'll be a face-off to the right of Marc-Andre Fleury. Take a look again at the standings and where the Islanders were coming in. The Penguins had a game in hand on the Islanders, 1 point behind them in the standings. And you look at the Capitals and the Rangers with the hot streaks they've been on. The Rangers leading 3-1 on Columbus. Caps are tied at the moment. Strome's shot is blocked. Letang looks for the puck. Gets help from Martin to the left wing, and Kunitz. Chris Kunitz into the Islanders zone. Shot it. Now Strome turns it back for Anders Lee. And over now to Rob Scuderi. There'll be one more game between these two teams this year. The second to the last game of the regular season schedule in Pittsburgh in April.
Not very well. Big part here right now. Let's go Islanders. They're on Fleury the last shift, Staggy, and they've been really good on home ice, Islanders, this year.
They're a hungry crew. I mean, they've waited a long time for this, and usually when you wait a long time for something exciting to come along, you're a more boisterous crowd. We've seen that with football with the Steelers in Pittsburgh in the early 70s, with the Pirates a couple of years ago when they got in the playoffs. It just comes with the territory when your team has struggled for so many years and you're finally good. Down the wing comes Oposo. Hit by Paul Martin. Martin keeps on working.
Yeah, he's so good, so composed in a phone booth there. The calm in the storm.
Here's Letang, and it has been a storm here lately for the Penguins against the Islanders. Here's Letang with it, dropping it off Ehrhoff. Big shot, and that one missed the goal off the glass. Malkin is there, tries to get a hold of it. Gino in the corner, up top now to Letang, to Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff back to Letang. Letang fakes, shoots, and it's deflected up into the netting.
Ehrhoff with a big blast, deflected by Bo Bennett over the net, and this time Letang as everybody converging in front of Halak. Now during the last time out, Crosby and Malkin looking up top at the scoreboard here on Long Island, looking at Kyle Oposo's 3 goals. Sidney Crosby, he's got 2, and he's got 8 career hat tricks. And don't be surprised, folks, if he doesn't have something else up his sleeve. He has really dominated in his career against the New York Islanders, and he seems ready to do one more thing here tonight.
From the draw, the shot by Letang is blocked. Ehrhoff will go back and get it. Penguins with only 4 shots here in the third period. The Islanders with 11. Penguins have the lead. The Islanders have scored twice. They scored twice in the second period as well. And now straight with it behind the goal. The Penguins have some more time to work with here. 5 minutes to go in regulation. Ehrhoff steps up. Kunitz has the puck. Sutter gets onside, but now Grabner reaches in, and he'll dump the puck into the Penguin zone.
Spaulding was hurt on that last shift as he went into the corner, and he's just slid to the middle of the bench.
Kunitz dumps it in and gets in after it. Halak waits for the puck to come in the trapezoid, flushes it to the corner. Kunitz there. He is bumped. Now Perron to the puck, backhands it down the wall. Kunitz chipped it for Crosby, but it goes right to Cizikas. Down for Martin, and he'll come to center and dump it into the Penguin zone. Scuderi back to get it. Up the wall for Dupre. Dupre is rocked into the near wall by Matt Martin.
You carry the puck around him, he'll finish off his hits, but so will Dupre, who had 7 coming into this third period.
Perron is hit after dumping the puck in by DeHaan. Bo Bennett gets in after it to the corner. Bennett snaps it out to the point. Dupre with a shot. Blocked in front. Crosby and Bennett trying to get to it. Cleared away by Nielsen. And then further out, it was sent by Strome. Taken there by Dupre. Wojciech is shaken up. He's still on the ice. As Leddy goes back and sends it up the wall.
I don't know how he stayed out, Staggy. He got rolled over like steamrollered by a freight train. Crosby coming in there trying to separate man from puck.
Bennett reaches back. Lead pass into the middle. Arcobello drops it back. 3:24 to go in regulation time. Letang left it there for Malkin. Out in the wing now for Downey, who steers it in. And Halak stops it, lifts it up off the glass. Bennett choked it off on the near wall of the corner. Malkin steps in against Tavares in front. Now Downey, a backhander, and the save made. Big save by Halak on Steve Downey. And he wants a penalty here for a slash. His stick is almost broken completely through.
Tavares wants a penalty too. Downey's stick is broken. Tavares' was in the far corner as Malkin came in, separated his stick from the puck. Watch Malkin. There's the axe chop. And then Downey goes to the front net. Hickey comes across from over top and breaks his stick from behind. Look at that, right on the hands. Oh, wow, it's a scoring opportunity. And look at Sidney Crosby on Boychuk. He comes flying in. Boychuk, his wrist goes into that boards. And that didn't look very good for Boychuk, who was banged up. So it's a man's game out there right now.
Sutter against Brock Nelson. Letang's shot was blocked by Kuhlman, who came charging out at him. And then Martin dumps it across to Letang. 3 minutes to go in regulation time. And Paul Martin leaves it over there for Letang. Sutter, Spalling, and Downey on the ice right now for the Penguins. Sutter can't get it around Kuhlman, who dumped it into the corner. Letang goes back to get it. Letang skates to center. We got a penalty behind the play. It's going to be against Downey. Downey just going over the edge there, upset about the non-call, which really, if he knew what happened with Malkin doing the same thing right before that, he might not have the same attitude about it, and now he's going to the box. That's a real good way to put a big damper on the night right there.
Yeah, that's not going to sit well with anybody. There's Nelson finishing off his check. There's the chop from behind, and then another one as he brings the stick right over Nelson. So Nelson goes him into a penalty.
Could have been 2 penalties,
yeah,
really.
got his money's worth. And let's see if the Penguins have something up their sleeve. 2:41 left. They're going to have to get a kill or score a shorthanded goal. After that, they'll have 41 seconds left.
Downey has been really composed by his standards in the last several weeks, but that's one of the worst penalties he's taken all year. In a big game like this, you just can't have it.
Well, not with 2:41, you're down by 1.
And would you do that in the playoffs? I mean, it's the same kind of situation, isn't it not? Here's Boychuk with it.
Well, I do when you're down 7-3 with a minute left in game 3.
Boychuk. Here's a shot by Tavares. They score.
Now, Steve Downey's still in the box. And I don't know if he got more than just the 2, Staggy.
I imagine he did.
If you look at this power play, the shot comes in. Looks like it's touched in there as it comes in by Brock Nelson, the man who drew the penalty. And then the third whack. I'm not sure who got the last whack. Was that Oposo again? And now Downey does come out of the box and goes over to the Penguins bench. That's really strange. And that was a minute after the puck had went in the net. I believe it was Oposo who got the last stick on that puck. And if it was, it's his 4th of the night from Tavares and Boychuk on the power play.
Crosby after the puck now. The Penguins got to get one real quick right here. Give themselves a chance. Here's Malkin with it. And
high stick on the puck. Face-off comes outside. They're going to call Malkin for a high stick.
Yeah,
I thought it might be shoulder height. I didn't think it was over his shoulders at all. I really did not. But nonetheless, it's been called, and there's nothing they're going to take back right now.
Crosby to take the draw against Brock Nelson.
Marc-Andre Fleury is way out by the hash marks, and if the Penguins get possession, he'll be coming out.
Crosby steps in.
New York Islanders power play goal, score number 21.
Letang backhands the puck into the Islanders zone. Hamonic goes back to get it. Net is empty. Letang with it. Letang pressured by Grabner. Gets the puck back for Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff will carry the puck back now. Perron into the zone. Hamonic try to get it out. Crosby got a stick on it. Now Kunitz. Kuhlman shoots for the empty net. He missed. Malkin goes back for it. Minute 27 to go in regulation. Perron down the wing with a chance. Cutting in. He shot it over the arm of Halak and over the goal. Malkin to the puck. Evgeny Malkin to Letang, and getting a stick on it was Grabner. Now he races after the puck and shoots into the empty net.
Well, the Islanders will hang on to first place.
Yeah, their 12th win in the last 14 games, 4th in a row.
Malkin tried to make a play back to Letang. It was tipped by Grabner. He got his own tip, got over center, put it into the net all the way through the air. And the New York Islanders, who were down 2-0 and 3-2 in this hockey game, have struck with a huge third period here. All season long, they've been out shooting their opponents, not just in games, but in third periods. They've done it again here tonight.
1 minute remaining in the third period. 1 minute.
Scuderi goes back for it. Well, the Penguins were within one, and then they got in penalty trouble, and at that point the game was essentially over. Arcobello steers it into the Islanders zone. The fans here are delirious. It's so loud in here right now. I was here the night that the Islanders picked themselves up off the mat and eliminated the Penguins from the Stanley Cup playoffs on their way to their second Stanley Cup. I think it was their third cup that they won, and it was unbelievably loud in here then. I'll tell you what, it's comparable now. It is really a great atmosphere for the Islanders. Not so good for the visiting teams. 3 seconds to go.
Well, there's our Medallic player of the game, Kyle Okposo. 3+1 tonight, give him 4 goals. And the Islanders strike for 6 after the Penguins had a 2-0 lead with a pair of power play goals of their own. They couldn't hold off the first place Islanders tonight.
Quite possibly the last game that we'll be involved in this building. And maybe that's a good thing, because the Islanders throughout their history have been a bit of a thorn in the sides of the Penguins. And obviously a very big win in a game that was built up as a big showdown tonight. The Islanders win it 6-3. Let's go to Robin Jack.